Welcome back to the DIY Place. Today we are going to focus on making this telephone stand. As you can see, it's a very simple project. And in doing this, I'm giving you a little sneak peek into volume 2 of our Art and Craft for Elementary School. For those of you all who haven't seen it, this is our Art and Craft for Elementary School volume 1. Now, let's get started with our project. What do we need to make this project? Well, a tin can, empty tin can, and parents, just make sure that the top is not is smooth enough that your kid will not get cut. This is one of those pull-tab cans, and those are the best ones to use. We need a base, which is a piece of cardboard, and this piece of cardboard is 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. Okay, we need something to cover the cardboard, some sort of decorative paper, and today we're going to be using this map. We also need, as you can see from the project, we need a stopper, and I'm going to use this cover from a bottle as my stopper. And just because I want to be decorative, I have a piece of string that I may use at the top, as you can see there. And of course, we also need a pair of scissors, a ruler, some glue. I have a little card here that I use to smooth my glue, and I have a measuring tape because we're measuring a circle. It's a lot easier with a measuring tape such as this one. It's the kind of tape that you may use for sewing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to measure our tin so we would know what size of paper we need to cover our tin. We're going to start with the ruler, and I'm measuring on the inside, so I'm not covering these two end pieces that are sticking out. I'm measuring on the inside, and I can see here that it's 3.5 inches. And now I'm going to measure around, and I can see that it's 8.25 inches around, but I want it to lap over a little bit, so I am going to cut my paper 8.5 inches, and that will give me a little bit of leeway. 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches. That's what we need for the can. I'm going to cut this off-site, and I'll come back to you in a minute. So here I have cut my piece of paper that's 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And I also cut my other piece of paper that's going to cover my board, and I cut that 6 inches because this is 4 inches across, so I added 2 inches by 8.5 inches because again this is 6.5 inches, and I added an inch on either side. Okay, so it makes it easier when we get to that. This is a piece that is going to cover the back, and it's just a little less than the 4 inches by 6.5 inches. So we're going to start by applying some craft glue. We're going to put craft glue around our tin. Okay, I'm going to smoothen it out with my card, and the reason I'm smoothing it out is because sometimes wet glue tends to get your paper to pucker a bit, and we don't want that. We want it to be as smooth as possible. So let's cover now. I'm going to start at the back. There's a natural joint in the tin, so that's where I'm going to start. Right around. And now where they overlap, there will be no glue. So I'm going to add a bit of glue there. So it's neat, and you can see we have covered our tin. We're now going to cover our base, and this is how we cover the base. We're going to put the cardboard like so. Just fold it in so you can mark off where the seams are. Remember to hold this down so that it doesn't move. You really want to know where those seams are, especially at the corners. And the reason for that is that we are going to remove some of the bulk out of our corners. Now I'm going to cut a piece off. Now I'm not going to cut all the way to where the corners meet. Okay, where these lines meet, I'm not going to cut there. I'm going to cut beyond that. I'm just removing some of the bulk paper. Again, I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm leaving some of it. So now I'm going to apply some glue to my base cardboard. get it to stay in place. Okay, and now we're going to make sure that it's in the correct place. Remember, we did some score lines earlier. I'm going to make sure put it up like so. Okay, so now I'm going to start by gluing the top and the bottom of the long piece. And you're going to hold that until it stays. So now the corners. I'm going to use my index fingers and I'm going to push the two corners in slightly. And then I'm going to cover it like so. So if you look carefully, you realize there's no hole on my corner. Now I'm going to apply the glue. I'm going to show you that again on the other side. Okay, so that when I pull it over on the other side, it's pretty neat. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover the back here. Keep it neat. And there we have our base. Okay. Now, because there's writing on this, I know this is the top and this is the bottom. Okay, that's important. I also took account of the writing when I was doing my tin can, so that the writing appears on the proper side. And so now our job is very easy. Apply some craft glue to the bottom. So I'm going to try my best to center it towards the back. There I have put my tin can. I've glued it down. Now, this is the stopper I'm going to use today. Where do I put the stopper? Well, in order to determine where to put the stopper, what you need to do is to use your cell phone, put it on the desk so you can see exactly how much you want this phone to be slanted. Now you can make a little mark and that will tell you where to put the stopper. And again, I'm going to apply glue. And finally, I'm just going to apply some string to the top, just to give it a bit of interest. Wrap it around. Just going to clip out the excess. And so we have made our little map cell phone stand. Now I want to give you some other ideas of things you can do with this cell phone stand. Where do I start? We have some beautiful projects for you. Here's one that I use canvas and then some painted canvas, and I think that's really cute. Makes a nice gift. These things make lovely gifts. If you may recall, we had our paper village project and there's a YouTube on that on our channel, and we use that concept to make this one that I think is really cute. We had a little car in front as a stopper, so I think that was adorable. You may also recall from our projects that we had made this rock frame using the pebbles, and so we made a matching telephone stand using that same concept, and so it makes a nice gift, and also, you know, it matches on somebody's desk. I think this is a lovely gift to make for a parent. And again, these are pebbles we found in the yard, and you know, one little rock. I'm going to save the best for last. That's what I think is the best. Now, if you don't have a tin can or you want to vary it, you can use a bottle. And you may recognize this project. This is our line painting project. Again, we have a video on this. And just use a stone as a stopper. And if you're feeling adventurous, isn't he cute? I don't know what his name is as yet, but I thought this was a rather cute one. Little Mr. Robot. And finally, we did one with shells, and yes, this is my favorite. My daughter did this one, and we used the shells and we used some stones for the top up, for the stopper right there, and you can see it is absolutely beautiful. So I am looking forward to see what projects you come up with and what ideas you come up with for your telephone stand. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. All of the links are provided below.